Yo, welcome back to the channel. Today we're locking in on Floyd Money Mayweather, but not for his boxing. We're diving into the messy, controversial world of his business claims, failed ventures, and defamation battles. When you think of Floyd Mayweather, you think of two things: undefeated boxing greatness and mountains of cash. The man built his career on being untouchable inside the ring and untouchable in wealth outside of it. Flashy cars, diamond watches, $100,000 shopping sprees. Mayweather cultivated his entire persona around the name money. But here's the thing. When you build a brand that loudly, almost obsessively equates your identity with wealth, the moment cracks start to show, people notice. And right now, Mayweather is at the center of a storm. From questionable real estate claims worth hundreds of millions, to lawsuits circling his Mayweather Boxing plus fitness gyms, to internet-fueled speculation of bankruptcy and scams, this is a new kind of fight. And it's not happening in the ring. Let's start with the most high-profile situation: Mayweather's supposed $402 million real estate empire. Earlier this year, Floyd boasted that he purchased more than 60 buildings in New York City, a portfolio that supposedly totaled over $400 million. For someone who loves flaunting wealth, that kind of announcement felt right on brand. But then came the problem. Reporters from Business Insider started digging, and what they found didn't add up. There were no public records, no filings, no paper trail, nothing to support Mayweather's claim. The outlets essentially called his bluff, suggesting this $402 million purchase never happened. That's where things escalated. Floyd responded by filing a defamation lawsuit against Business Insider, claiming they smeared his name and disrespected his business credibility. Here's the kicker, though. Instead of proving the property deal, Mayweather doubled down in the court of public opinion. He went on Instagram and reminded people that he still owns 100 buildings across America, that he still has 2 private jets, and that, in his words, smear campaigns won't stop him. But this situation raises a much bigger question. Why would a man who has flaunted verified wealth for decades suddenly need to invent numbers? Is this another layer of hype to keep his money persona alive? Or could it be a desperate attempt to drown out whispers about financial instability? When the narrative of bankruptcy started circulating, amplified by commentators like Stephen A. Smith, Mayweather lashed out, saying that people are jealous, that critics want to see him fall. But if your financial image depends on the world believing you're untouchable, then any doubt, whether true or not, is poison. This is the tricky part about branding yourself as wealth incarnate. Even the smallest inconsistency becomes a headline. And with Floyd, the inconsistencies are starting to stack up. If the real estate claims looked shaky, the fitness franchise debacle looked even worse. Back in 2018, Floyd launched Mayweather Boxing plus Fitness, a boutique gym franchise that promised to bring his training methods to the masses. It looked like a smart move. After all, Floyd was the poster boy for longevity, stamina, and discipline. For a while, things were booming. By 2023, there were reportedly over 70 locations nationwide. But then, everything started falling apart. As of this year, reports say only about 26 gyms remain open. The rest, closed. And here's where controversy really kicks in. Multiple franchisees have filed lawsuits against the company. They claim Mayweather's team misled them, painting a picture of guaranteed success while hiding the risks. Some lawsuits allege over $8 million in combined losses from failed gyms. One of the biggest sticking points was Mayweather's personal involvement. During the rollout, Floyd promised that if franchise owners ever ran into trouble, he'd show up personally, for free, to help promote the business. There are even recordings of him saying, "Call me, and I'll come to your gym." But according to franchisees, the reality was different. If you wanted Floyd to show up, that could cost $50,000 or more. Instead of free star power, owners were left struggling to compete in a saturated fitness market. Many blame Mayweather's camp for overpromising and underdelivering. From a business perspective, this is a classic case of the celebrity brand trap. Just because you're great at boxing doesn't mean you're great at running gyms. But from a reputational standpoint, it looks worse. Floyd profited off the dream of his name, while smaller investors took devastating losses. And again, when your entire identity is tied to money, seeing your branded gyms shuttered across the country looks like a public knockout. Now, let's talk about the wildest layer of all this: the internet speculation. Over the past year, YouTube videos and social media threads have gone viral, claiming Floyd is bankrupt, scamming people, or even collapsing in courtrooms. Some of these are straight-up clickbait, no question. Titles like "Mayweather's $3 billion scam exposed" or "Floyd collapses in bankruptcy trial" are clearly exaggerated, if not fabricated. But here's the problem. When there's already smoke, people are quick to believe there's fire. And Floyd has a history that makes the rumors more believable. He's been accused of not paying opponents like Logan Paul, who still claims he's owed $5 million from their 2021 exhibition fight. He's also been tied to questionable endorsement deals in the crypto world, where several celebrity-backed tokens ended in collapse. On top of that, Reddit communities and boxing forums are filled with speculation. One user joked, "Imagine being caught lying about your businesses so badly that you sue for racism." Another bluntly claimed, "He owes a lot of people money." Whether true or not, the narrative is sticky. Floyd suing media outlets for defamation only adds fuel, because when you fight back that hard, people assume you're hiding something. It becomes a paradox. The louder Mayweather shouts that he's not broke, the more people wonder if he is. This is the danger of living in the social media era. Perception moves faster than facts. And for a man whose identity is built on being the richest, flashiest athlete alive, perception is everything. So, let's step back. Why should anyone care if Floyd exaggerated some real estate claims? Or if his gyms failed? Or if people on Reddit think he's broke? He's retired, he's a millionaire many times over, and he's still technically undefeated. But here's why it matters. Floyd Mayweather's brand is bigger than him. He's not just selling boxing anymore, he's selling himself as a business mogul, a blueprint for athletes who want to turn fight money into generational wealth. And when that blueprint starts looking shaky, it affects the entire narrative of how fighters handle money after the ring. For years, Floyd stood as proof that you could be in combat sports and never end up broke, unlike so many fighters before him. Mike Tyson went bankrupt. Evander Holyfield lost it all. But Mayweather, he was the exception. If the controversies pile up to the point where people see him in the same category, then the empire of money Mayweather collapses. It also matters because Floyd's name is attached to other ventures, sponsorships, exhibitions, appearances. If people begin to believe he's exaggerating wealth or stiffing business partners, those opportunities dry up. In that sense, his reputation is still an active business asset. And once that asset erodes, the money follows right behind. What we're seeing play out is bigger than just Floyd. It's the modern trap of fame and image. In a world where clout equals currency, exaggerating success has almost become the norm. But eventually, perception has to collide with reality. For Floyd, that collision is happening in real time. The man who bragged about carrying $1 million in a duffel bag now faces headlines about unpaid debts, failed gyms, and imaginary skyscrapers. And while he's still wealthier than most could ever dream, the illusion of being untouchable has cracked. If you zoom out, this is the irony. Floyd Mayweather built an entire persona around never losing. In the ring, that record is intact. But outside the ring, in the world of business and perception, the losses are stacking up. And unlike boxing, there's no referee here to call the fight. And that's the true lesson. No matter how high you climb, image can't forever substitute for substance. At some point, fans, investors, and even the media demand receipts. Floyd might still win exhibition fights, but his real battle now is against time, doubt, and credibility itself. At the end of the day, Floyd's controversies raise a bigger question. How will history remember him? Inside the ropes, he's untouchable, an all-time great. But outside, his empire feels more fragile with each headline. Will fans remember the undefeated fighter or the businessman fighting lawsuits and rumors? Legacy isn't just about victories. It's about the story people choose to believe once the gloves are gone. So that's where Floyd Mayweather stands. An undefeated fighter, but a businessman in the middle of his toughest battle. Real estate doubts, fitness failures, online defamation. It's all part of the new narrative. Drop your thoughts below. Has Money Mayweather finally lost control? Or is this just another chapter in the endless show of Floyd versus the world?